reproduction of this content is not allowed without the express written consent of EBH Fitness LLC.
Dr. C. Victor Herbert III, and I'm taking it to the house.
I'm Dr. Timothy Hoover. Hey, what a dynamic first week. What a dynamic first week in the NFL. And I'm hyped about it. But you know what? I just want to sit back just for a few minutes, y'all, because we got a Ravens fan on this panel, and I'm sure he has something to say. Brother, I don't know if that's a chip or boulder on your shoulder. I'm going to let you express yourself. Have at it.
Well, first, I have to give a host of gratitude and thanks and acknowledgement to those who gave me time over the last 3 days to really soak in and process what had actually happened. Um, that shows the candor of those in my camp that really care about me, that really love me, because it was a very difficult pill to swallow. It was so bad to swallow. My girl who's from this Maryland area, and I watched the end of the game, and I had a little watch party. We had the theme set up, bro. I mean, you don't host parties unless you know you're gonna win. So we had it set up with a Baltimore thing. We had the crab cakes. Then we had Old Bay seasoning on a chicken. Then we had some buffalo wings that we made. Then we had buffalo dip. Then we had some other assortments, right? But it really fit the theme of Baltimore versus Buffalo, and it was going great. We're kicking tail. I mean, we're doing all we got to do, and then you watch the last 4 minutes, and as a fan and a diehard fan I am, yes, the last 4 minutes felt like eternity. But it's not just that part. See, what happens is, and it takes me back to what happened in January. It's not that the game ends. Now don't want to watch the highlights, but I gotta watch the highlights. And she says, "How long do you want to watch the highlights?" I said, "I gotta watch." I watched another 2 hours of highlights to understand just try to process the day. And I will tell you this: I'm very appreciative for those who just gave me the space to process. I had notes and texts and emails saying, "Thinking about you, bro. Just thinking about you. We'll hit you up in a couple days." Bro, I got them. I got them legitimately, because they knew it was not a good day. And I'm gonna tell you what, I don't blame my offense. Ray Lewis said once upon a time, and I've been following this team for 30 years now. Once upon a time, he said, all you need to do is give us 2 touchdowns, give us 14 points, we'll win. That's how confident. We're built around a strong defense. 14 points. He said, I don't care who the quarterback is. Give us 2 touchdowns, we're gonna win the game. I can only imagine what the legends of the Baltimore Ravens defense is going through right now to say, wow, could you imagine in our heyday scoring 40 points? It used to be a hard thing to score 20 points. So to have a game, you score 40 points and you lose? Not this team. We don't do that. So everyone asks, what do we need to win a Super Bowl? We don't need anything. Just play the game. We got an outstanding roster. So it's very painful. And I don't like Derrick Henry having to wear that. He shouldn't have to wear that, because your damn defense need to stop the damn nosebleed. Do something. I mean, God dang. Look, I'd rather them just have a couple penalties and just do something. I mean, damn, man. 4 minutes?
Yes.
You had the home team so far out of the game, their fans started leaving the stadium, and you lose the game? It was a very tough pill to swallow, but the greatest thing about it is that it's only game one. It's just a game out of 17 weeks. And we are a playoff team. We'll be there. But I hope that this is the lesson that need to say, listen, nothing's given to you. You need to earn it every week. And so I'd rather see the hole in the defense now in week one than that hole of a defense in week 17. So that's the silver lining I have with it.
Well, I can hear the bitterness. You're still getting over it. You're processing it. You're better today than you were 2 days ago. I can hear that. I can even imagine on your Thursday and your Friday picks when you got those right. You pick the Eagles, you pick the Chargers. You're going 2-0 into the weekend. You're feeling good. Your stuff is swole. I get that. So you plan a party, and it's like, y'all, I'm going 3 for 3. If nothing else, of these 3 games. Wah, wah, wah. And it comes crashing down. So it's almost as though, forget about the other games that you chose. It was your team, and they crushed you. I want to put it to you this way. Yes, it's 1 of 17, but the implications, bruh, home field advantage. We're talking about the AFC going back, possibly going back to the Bills in January. That's not a welcoming sight. That's the implication. Every game matters. The seriousness of it, I don't take it light. You're right. It's just unfortunate that somebody had to lose this game and the manner that you had to lose it. I loved the game. The game was good. It was exciting. You talk about points. There are some people who probably watched this game for the first time. Oh, we can score this many points. Don't get used to that. You don't get 80 some points in a game. So that's an anomaly. But these two teams, they could flex like that. They could score like that. What you don't expect is, like you said, the defense to give up another 40 points for the Ravens, who have been built on defense. Rex Ryan on ESPN, he was talking about their defense is not their calling card anymore. He said it, quote unquote. He said their offense is their calling card, and they need to lean into that. And I think part of that is true. When you got a Lamar 2-time or is it 3-time MVP, you got D2 train back there, D. Henry. You got weapons enough with Andrews, and likely will be back eventually to score 40 points. You're supposed to win that game. Okay, reality check. It is one. It is just one game. It happens to be the first game. They still have an outstanding coach, running back, skilled players, and they're probably going to win these games 8 out of 10 times, maybe 9 out of 10 times. They're going to win those games because they're built to win those games, especially close games to close it in the end with just eating up clock and ground game. They're built for that. But you do have to question the defense. The defense is suspect. Yeah, they were going to get the reigning MVP in Josh Allen, the quarterback, and he is Superman. He just didn't have the cape. And it wasn't just him, it's just the belief. You know, when you get down to the nitty and the gritty, both of those teams have lost significant games, big games in the last 2 minutes, the last possessions, both of those teams. Yeah. So you're supposed to learn from that. And it appears as though the Bills have learned from that. Where Baltimore Ravens, those close games, they're not pulling them out in the end. So I'm concerned about that. Two things, their defense and closing a game. Closing the game.
So when you look at their schedule this year, I'm looking at it right now. They don't have time on their side to practice a defense and make sure we're who we are. You're going to play, you got to play. You're playing all Super Bowl caliber teams this year, other than some exceptions. Playing the Browns, then the Lions. The Lions got a chip on their shoulder. Who are the Lions this year? But they're still coached by a great coach. Then they got to play the Chiefs right after that. Then they play the Texans. All three of those teams are division leaders. We're division leaders last year. Then they play the Rams. All right, they get taken knee by playing the Bears. They get to play the Dolphins. Historically, we struggle with the Dolphins, ironically. Play the Vikings, another playoff team that's also a potential division winner. Play the Browns again, play the Jets, who, hey, they showed something the other day. That's not the same Jets of years past. Then they play the Bengals, always a struggle against Burrow. Play the Steelers, play the Bengals again, play the Patriots, play the Packers, and then end the season with the Steelers. Listen, we're not going to have too many take a knee games. There's not going to be too many opportunities to say, okay, you know what, let's just take our foot off the pedal. Every game is actually a playoff game, playoff implication game. A game in September, as you stated, will impact what's happening in January. We got mollywopped going out there to Buffalo last year in the snow. And I won't have to hear that song, Mr. Sunshine and Mr. Brightside, all that kind of crap. They're becoming my new team I just detest. And so we don't have that opportunity. Not only that, we have one of the most expensive secondaries in the league. One of the most so we put money in the secondary and we got carved up for 392 yards. So is the player or is it the defensive coordinator? There's somewhere it's the audio's not tracking with the video. And so as I just laid out there, the season of these next 16 games, there's not too many days off. Not too many days off, maybe four games that is okay to hand me down. So if you're gonna, if that's the time as Bruce Lee would have that fight in Chinese Connection, he's on that island and he gets shot and he get hit. And he said, taste his blood. Let that be it. That should stink. That should hurt. That should sting a lot. That should be something that says, I don't want to feel this anymore. And if I was Coach Harbaugh, I would have had my team sit out there the whole time at the end of that game and just watch how the Bills said, this is our house. That's 2 times in a row. Now you got 2 times in a row they beat you. So who are you? Who are you? Because we're still got to get past Kansas City. And if we can't get through Buffalo, how are we going to play against a Super Bowl champ who's got a bigger chip on his shoulder this year because they had a three-peat that they missed out on? So I don't want to take that lightly. Big scheme of thing, yes, it's 1-17. But the next 16 games ain't nothing to play with.
Right.
Ain't nothing to play with.
Let's transition to the Packers Lions game. Did you get a chance to catch that at all?
I started my day off on that one.
Now, I mean, we're talking about NFC champions potential. With the Lions, they were in the NFC champions a couple years ago, and they have same personnel, same coach. Oh, guess what? You lose your OC. Oh, guess what? You lose your DC. Do they make that much of a difference? I don't know if it's them or Green Bay's just that good. Okay, you get an injection of Micah Parsons just to make you feel good, give you some energy, give you some swag, give you some juice. You already have all the personnel you need. You go to Green Bay, Detroit, you go to Green Bay, and you don't show up. Is that what we should expect out of the Detroit Lions for this year? I wonder. So I do believe we saw the real Green Bay, and they're only going to get better as the year goes on. But is that the real Detroit? Talk to me, man. Tell me it ain't so.
Answer I have is yes.
Uh-oh.
Yes, all the above. Detroit, and that's where the windows, man. That's what we talk about, windows. That's why I'm so upset with the Ravens. Like, the window is only going to be here for so long. Derrick Henry is only a couple years away before he retires. And he's like, okay, look, he turns to the pumpkin. Only a couple years away before Lamar can't run like he does and become that dual threat. There's only the window. Look at what happened to San Francisco. Window's gone. A couple years ago, San Francisco was in the show. Now they've lost Kittle. Purdy's out. McCaffrey. So the window. And when you are a successful team, you start, other teams in the league start poaching. So what? I just said the Jets looking good. Yes, they took the L, but they look good en route to the L. They look great. That is not the team of old. Why? Because as you stated, that their head coach used to be the defensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. And he's got the boys in New York looking like a whole nother monster. So now you see Detroit has that gap. And now there's a learning curve for the new defensive coordinator. And so offensively, Jared Goff was doing the best he could, but he started seeing ghosts. So you got that part. There's a leadership vacuum that is in the new culture that has to be rebuilt.
Agree.
And then you talk about the Packers. They didn't lose anything. They enhanced. Yes, you got Micah. You saw him screaming up the middle and finally got that sack. We said last week the NFC North is going to be a nasty division this year.
Yeah.
Between the Packers, the Lions, and the Vikings. One of them are going to be the division leader, and somebody's still going to have a double-digit record and still be a wild card team. So it's going to take a couple weeks, I think, for Detroit to find their new rhythm. Because they still got the same personnel. They didn't lose anybody personnel-wise. It's just how do they how do they learn to operate with what they've lost? Chad Hutchinson should be back. All these kind of things, man. But man,
Yeah, Detroit couldn't run. They really couldn't pass. Uh, and Micah Parsons, one player. And the NFL it's a team sport. It's more of a team sport than, say, basketball, for instance. You need a lot of people to contribute to be successful when it comes to winning a game in the NFL. And I believe it's very hard. The structure has to be in place. You're talking about organizational management. You know that better than anybody else. The structure for Green Bay has been there since Bart Starr and beyond. So they are solid, but they don't get credit for the organization. But they get these quarterbacks. You get Bart Starr. You get Brett Favre. You get Aaron Rodgers. You get Jordan Love. I'm not saying Jordan Love is a Hall of Famer. Don't get me wrong. But it seems like they just plug and play. It's good management. It's good scouting. Yeah, they got some duds. I know they got some duds. Everybody does. But Green Bay, how the league is great when Green Bay is relevant. And they are relevant. One player, Micah Parsons. I said a team sport, but look what he's done for the team of their defensive scheme. Micah Parsons requires two people. That means somebody's free. He also is freeing that other person, which puts pressure on the quarterback, which means the quarterback got to get rid of the ball. So guess what the defensive player is going to do? What the Dallas Cowboys defense was able to do? Pick them off. With no names. Now they're going to be names because of one person. One person can make that difference. I'm not talking Reggie White. I'm not talking LT, Lawrence Taylor. I'm not talking that. But the scheme is the same. You got to pay that much attention to this dude. And so Green Bay is hyped. The fan base is hyped. It's not just hope. It's an expectation. Okay, you mentioned the Vikings. You mentioned Detroit. You mentioned the Bears. You know what Green Bay say? They're the little brothers. Green Bay say, this is mine to lose. And they're going with the expectation to be the NFC, North Division leader, and winning a 1 or 2 playoffs. They want to be in the NFC Championship. They want to go to the bowl. They expect that. That's the difference of one player.
I love it. And what I also love, I got to give kudos to the NFL for at least this first weekend, because the majority of those games that were played were division games. Division games. It gives you, again, as you talk about the hope and expectation, what season can come about. So to see Detroit take that L, to see Kansas City take that L against, like, now you're in the hole in your own division. But as you stated, for Detroit to take the L for the last 3 years, they've been on that ascent. So now those of us who watch NFL for the last 20 plus years know that the Detroit that we're used to are the losers. So now that they're going to encounter some adversity, which team is going to erupt? Did Dan Campbell, this word me as that leadership part, I'm watching how much that culture has been soaked in that we're winners. Now that they tasted this loss, and they have to go through these new organizational changes, will they revert back to who we used to be versus, no, this is who we are? And now they're going to encounter resilient adversity at this part for the first time in this new rebuild, the new cultural rebuild. Again, they brought Jared Goff. They had those L's. They brought the new coach in. I mean, they're bringing all that together. So with Aaron Glenn, the old defensive coordinator, and Ben Johnson, they built this culture. They built it over the last 3 or 4 years to get here. Now they start plucking. What stands? Especially when you take the L in the division, first game of the season, man.
Well said.
And the way they lost last season. Season.
Yes.
So you got that nasty taste in your mouth. You start the season off without your defensive coordinator and your offensive coordinator, and you take that L in the division. Yes. How are you going to respond back to that?
I love that. And you mentioned adversity. Quarterback play is so vital. Let's talk about quarterback play. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers. Let's talk about Caleb Williams. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers saying na 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 boo boo to everybody. Everybody. Not playing a preseason game. Goes out in the first game with the Steelers and throws 4 on you with the dub against the Jets. Another quarterback who moved from the Steelers. Okay, Justin Fields, who has not got his just desserts at the quarterback play, whether it was with Chicago, whether it was with the Steelers, now he's in New York. But he balled his tail off. But I want to focus on Aaron Rodgers just for a few minutes. Talk to me. Is that what's up? What's up? And it's against the Jets who have a formidable defense. Holla at your boy. Talk to me.
What's the irony? And just go NFL again, playing games. What's the irony
Yeah.
that he does this in New York?
Yes.
He does it in New York, those
Yeah.
4 Bills. And then if you watch and listen to his post-game conference, he was petty Teddy. He was petty, which is okay because he did take a lot on the chin over the last couple of years. And my question is, yes, he leaves from Green Bay. He comes with the plan I want to be a Jet, and he has the Achilles injury, and he's done. He only has another season left. The head coach gets fired. He's recovering from the injury. There's a lot of upheaval that happens, obviously, because they fired the interim coach. So to me, we seen Aaron who left from Green Bay. I would like to believe, and I'd have to defer to you, that from a physical standpoint, he was healthy to play last year. But from a mental aspect, was he really? Over the 20 plus years of his career, I don't remember him ever having a season-ending injury. So here it is, he's 40 plus years old. He has an injury, he comes back, and they didn't really perform. So even this last off season, he's like, I don't know if I want to come back. So now there's that mental piece. Am I ready? Was that really me? Or am I who I was 2 years ago or who I am now? Like, I'm only as good as my last tape. So I'd like, again, you talk about quarterback play, but he's one of the old schools of the old schools. Again, he's still part of that Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees class. Those guys, and it's fading. So to see him come back and perform, I enjoyed it, man. If that's who he is, I need to go back on my fantasy roster and see if he's sitting on somebody's bench or sitting in the waiver somewhere, because I had him 2 years ago and I was like, man, this is a hot mess. This dude is washed up. So I need to see someone forgot about that.
For most of us that have had an injury, I don't know if you've had a significant injury that you couldn't run or couldn't participate in your sports activities. I have. But as a rehab specialist, as a physical therapist, the mental is just as much as the physical, because you can overcome a lot mentally. There is the thing that's called the placebo effect, how the mind could tell you you're well and you get well. You are given a sugar pill and you think it's something to make you well and healthy. You get healthy because you think you're getting better. You're getting treatment. I go in and I do my assessment and I approach the mind before I even approach the injury or the hip replacement, the back surgery, or whatever the case may be. I want to know, are they buying in? Are they bought in? Then it's an education point. Here's the prognosis. Here's what you can expect going through in your rehab. But I want them to know fully what to expect. Aaron Rodgers, these guys, these athletes are getting 24-hour care. So the healing part, the physical part, they're getting that. But what is he doing to get mentally ready? And so, dropping back, having 300-pound, 400-pound men coming after you, having to dodge and have that pocket awareness side to side and step up, that's a mental hurdle. Even though he's been doing it probably since the age of 7, even though he's been doing it for years. But does the body and mind equate? Are they working in synchronicity? Are they working together in synergy? And so that's the part. And so the Steelers are getting the better version of Aaron Rodgers than the Jets got. And that's your point. Yes, sir. And I think he's going to set the bar for the over 40-year-old quarterback. Do not discriminate because of age. Can he produce? And he's producing right now. On the other end, we didn't get a chance to talk about Caleb Williams much last year. And this is coming out of your ballpark. You're talking about a USC alum. Come on. Caleb Williams Did you get a chance to see the game the other night with Caleb and the who was it against the Minnesota Vikings?
Man, fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you want to say it, internet was down over here for about
Oh,
24 hours.
you got to feed the
So,
squirrels.
so I
You
didn't
got to
have to
feed them.
watch it, but then I did, find out my hotspot on my phone worked, so I was able to watch enough, and I saw the second half. So I saw a lot of the early on. I thought, man, what a nasty game. I mean, like that first half just looked the way it read, and then I watched the last quarter, and I almost felt like flashbacks from the Ravens Bills game. Man, I say, oh my, are we doing this again?
Those two quarterbacks, JJ as well as Caleb, came out of the same draft, and got a lot of people asking the next morning, did the Bears pick the right quarterback? I think they picked the right quarterback. There's nothing wrong with Caleb Williams talent wise. There's nothing, and you saw it. Well, maybe you didn't. I'm sorry, but in the first half, he demonstrated, he showed why he was chosen in the first overall because of what he was able to do, can do, will do. But he's talented. He was making the throws and he was scrambling, getting out and making plays with his feet. Was he indecisive on sometimes? Did he miss some long reads? Yes, but he wasn't holding onto the rock. He was getting rid of it, and it was like boom, boom, boom. He was 2 seconds or less, boom, getting it out. There was a couple times the announcers, Troy Aikman was talking about, oh, he missed his read, and there was somebody open that down deep, and all he had to do was just throw it up. He just missed that because he was just more decisive short game, and he wasn't throwing deep. So I need got you. So Caleb was doing good. I like him. What you got? Three coaches in 2 years. If you ask his senior season, so 4 coaches, how many OCs in that time? We got to be fair to him. So we got to be fair to Caleb Williams. We got to be fair because he's got 3 different coaches, 4 different coaches if you count his senior year of USC. How many OCs has he had? Give him time. When your boy JJ for the Minnesota Vikings, yeah, he had a redshirt year because he was injured last year, but he still was the same coach. He was learning the system, even though he wasn't playing up to speed. So it's not fair. It's really not fair. You can say apples to apples or apples to oranges. No, it's just 2 different quarterbacks, 2 different systems, 2 different expectations. And people are not being fair to Caleb. Now, I will also say, yeah, I'm a Caleb apologist, but I'm also going to say Caleb's got to do the doggone thing. Be a quick study, do better. Be a quick study, do better. Learn it. Get over yourself and know a lot of the things that you did in high school, you did in college, they probably won't be able to do, okay? Especially when you try to run and scramble. No, get rid of the rock. Throw it away. Okay? So Caleb, help me help you. I want to defend you, brother.
I like what you said, and I totally agree. The difference between the two, JJ had that red shirt year. And just because you're injured, like you said, doesn't mean you're not around the team. So he's watching Sam Darnold, he's watching Kevin McConnell, and he's watching the system. They still got stability. So mentally, you just talked about Aaron Rodgers and what he's able to do mentally. So mentally, as a quarterback, what better position to sit? Yes, I'm sorry, I'm injured, so I can't start. But I'm watching Sam Darnold, who was a journeyman, who comes in 1 year and lights it up. And so whatever nerves you have as that rookie to be able to say, damn, okay, it's unfortunate I'm hurt, but it's still my team. I can now study for a whole year. How much did he get in that lab over that time before he had to sit down and get placed in position to play? Stability and security. When you look at Caleb, man, he's got another rookie head coach. When he came in the league, he had a rookie head coach.
Who couldn't
for 2
coach?
years.
Yes.
So then now you get another rookie head coach.
Yes.
That's a head coach. That's not counting, as to your point. Offensive coordinators. So it's the Bears. How many quarterbacks had they drafted in the last 4 years? Trubisky, Fields, Williams. So he great job being the number 1 pick. You got awarded by getting selected by the Bears, who historically have not done well and take care of the quarterbacks. So so it is Very unfortunate. However, you're getting paid to be quarterback. Study, do your damn job because you still got the weapons out there. You got Rome. I mean, you got weapons. Not like they didn't give him a slew of weapons.
Yeah.
And Ben Johnson has a pedigree, what he did in Detroit. So, yes, I understand. But hey, you're not the only quarterback that is going through transition. You're not the only quarterback. Look at Russell Wilson is still trying to make it happen. He gone to 4 different teams in the last 5 years. So, okay, got it. It happens. But what are you going to do? Sam Darnold parlayed his experience, and now he's in Seattle, and he's performing. So you're professional. You're a professional. Welcome to adulthood. Make it happen. So I'm an apologist, but at the same time, unfortunately, the USC quarterbacks, when they get to the league, other than Carson Palmer, I don't know too many from a first name perspective that had done the damn thing over the last 2 years. Carson Palmer stands out. Yes, we could talk about Sam Darnold, Caleb Williams,
Mark Sanchez,
Matt Darnold, Matt Leinart. So you had these guys that came out that were Heisman winning and all of Pete Carroll Street, all that stuff. When they get to the league, what happens? So there's something about the USC quarterback. But then I do have to take that pause and say there's a USC quarterback and then there's Lincoln Riley quarterbacks. Lincoln Riley has performed and put some solid quarterbacks in the league. Baker Mayfield, Jalen Hurts. So come on, Caleb. You can't. Come on now. And those two Heisman winning quarterbacks. Now one is a freaking Super Bowl champ, and one rehabbed his career and is doing a damn thing in Tampa. So it's not like you ain't had some great foundational knowledge to transition to the league.
Good call. All right, we're getting to the end, man. And I want to know if you're going to be as successful as you were last week in your picks. We got a Super Bowl rematch. We got the Eagles and Kansas City. We got the Commanders going to Green Bay. Pick 'em. Why? What you got? Can you go 4-0 starting out the season?
Well, the great thing is I will be in Kansas City to watch this game live. As you know, I do my bucket list, NFL bucket list item every year, and this year going to Kansas City and Jacksonville, and I have a trip set up to go to Germany to watch that game in Berlin. So I got those 3 games this year. So I will be at the game this week. And man, I will tell you why I'm excited about this Kansas City game, because one, they took an L. They got an nasty taste in their mouth. Eagles, they had a chance to lose that game against Dallas. So, yes, they got the win, but there's a couple drops by CeeDee Lamb that would have put that game out of reach. So, which Eagles team shows up? Oh man! But as I say, in order to be the champ, you got to beat the champ. And right now, the champ are the Eagles. And I'm going, go Eagles, go. It's going to be an intense environment with being in Arrowhead and the noise. It's one of the top 3 noisiest stadiums. So it's going to be intense. But I'm picking the Eagles on this one, man. I'm going with the Super Bowl champs.
All right. I'm going to use one of your lines. Don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. However, I'm going to go against Patrick Mahomes. This is at home. I'm going to go with the Eagles. And I'm going to tell you why. Manpower-wise, what have the Chiefs done to change anything, whether it's the defense or offense? What have they done differently? They haven't. The same offensive line that the Eagles was beating up is still the same offensive line. The skill players are still the same skill players for the Chiefs. And I love the Chiefs. I love their success. But your past success don't indicate what you're going to do in the future. It has no key. However, the Philly, they're brawlers. They want to muck it up, and they don't mind mucking it up right there in the trenches, and that's where they win. That's where they win. Oh, by the way, they got a Super Bowl MVP coming. They got Saquon coming, who was just short of 2,000 yards last year, who ran pretty hard last week, but it was the first game. Who's not going to slow down because you're the Chiefs? They know what they did. If the Chiefs win, I'm going to be shocked. I'm not picking them. I'm picking the Eagles. And Jalen Hurts, that first game that he just played against the Cowboys, he looked like he had all the answers to the test. That's what it looked like. Oh, you're going to rush me with 4? I'll stay back here and I'll pick you apart. Oh, you're going to rush me with 5 or 6? I'll take it down and I'm going to run with it. Okay? It didn't matter. He had the answer to the test. He was at the back of the book and he knew the answers. He got the answers. And the Cowboys, yes, they had a chance to win. Now I picked them to win, and I thought if they were going to win, it was going to be that game because of the malaise, the champagne taste, the rustiness, if you will, of the first game of the season. The Cowboys almost, that's what we say about average teams. They almost. We don't say that about teams that we expect they should have, like the Ravens. We didn't say they almost. No, the Cowboys are who we thought they were.
Yeah.
Okay, so no, the Eagles. We've used the analogy before. The Eagles are the lion, and the Cowboys were the mouse, and they were playing.
Yeah.
Chiefs lose at home.
That's a big one, and I'll take them to 0-2. That'll take them to 0-2, and it'll be. And this is a statement to be said if the Eagles take them out, because now, just like the Ravens and the Bills, that's 2 times, man. That's a nasty taste. Now they got to go a whole nother season unless they meet them in the Super Bowl to go and get that revenge factor out. And I do believe that the Eagles had their number. And the way they dominated them in the Super Bowl, man, if they come and do that again, this may be the end of that reign for the Chiefs. I'm not saying that the Eagles are going to go back to back, but I do believe that means the cheat code. You're talking about cheat code. The cheat code for the Chiefs has been done, because now that's 2 games back to back, and that's the Chargers that took them out. That wasn't the Bills that took the Chiefs out last week. That was the Chargers, someone in their own division. And they do this, when they start getting the deep part of their lineup, and the Eagles expose them again, done deal. Done deal, man.
Yes. We got Commanders. We got in Green Bay. And I'm gonna pick Green Bay, man. I love the Commanders. I love their culture change. I love what Snyder has done, Jalen has done. I love they picked up Deebo Samuels, their scheme and how they're playing, how they're approaching each game. And I pray that he doesn't have that sophomore jinx, that sophomore malaise that quarterbacks tend to have. And he didn't show that the first game. But going to Green Bay with the tools that they have, and we just talked about with Micah, I see that as a long road to hoe. Okay, Steve, a long road to hoe. You remember me talking about that before. A long road to hoe. It's hard. It's going to be hard for them in Green Bay. I want the Commanders to win. I do want them to win, but I don't think they'll win. I'm going Green Bay, and I'm going Eagles.
I concur. I'm being pulled because we I have my Commanders here. I love what they're doing, but they're still young. It's Green Bay's game to lose. Now, I say that I'm careful with those words because I do believe the Commanders have it in them, but Green Bay is the team. They're the better team. They're a better coach. They're the more seasoned. So it's their game to lose. If they lose it, okay, wow, how did that happen? That's what I'm gonna say. Well, how did that happen? I'm expecting them to win. Would I be surprised if the Commanders? No, but I believe it's a Green Bay's game to lose. So I'm picking Green Bay. But bruh, it should be a great one to watch Jordan Love and Jay Daniels. Again, Jay Daniels on that sophomore year. We watched what happened with Bryce Young. Then you see C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud that sophomore year, he was still on it. So which is the real Jaden? It's a learning league. So he may have been dominating last year because they don't have no tape on him. What does he show up with this year? So that's the exciting thing to see. And Micah, he knows Jaden because he played that same division 2 times. So to watch this and watch Micah's transformation, and we get to get another piece again on the defense, is Green Bay's defense for real. And so we'll be a great game next year. But I'm next week. I'm calling Green Bay.
Quality check. And I said Snyder. What's the coach's name for the Commanders? I said Snyder, but that's not correct. I'm trying to think of
Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn. Thank you. Thank you. It's not Snyder. Snyder was a previous owner, so I apologize for that. Yeah. So, hey, to our fans who listen to me and my nephew, which is my brother, I don't look at him like a nephew. I look at him like a brother. That's my boy right there. Love you. Enjoy your trip, man, to Kansas City and enjoy the game. I know it's going to be off the chain. You're going to have a good time. And to our fans, just say thank you for listening to us, and we'll see y'all next week. I'm Dr. Tim, and I'm out.
Hey, y'all, we had a great week. I'm 2-0 right now. You can add that extra start, the asterisk, because it hurt to watch the Ravens go. But again, I'm done with it. I flushed it in the toilet. Keep it moving. Love y'all. Tomorrow starts the football again. We know how this goes from Thursday to Monday. It's football up in this camp. So let's make it happen. I will give you all a back brief report for how the experience was in Kansas City at next week's show. Love y'all. Catch us out on all our social media opportunities. Holla, Dr. Vic. I'm out.